I don't want a lawyer. I just want to.
Well, would you like to go to jail? I can
No.
arrange that. You can't drive. Your driver's license is suspended twice. You're driving with no insurance on your car in April. You drive again in May, doing the exact same thing. All right, Bobby Lee Crandall, go right out there. What?
Do I come back here after?
Probably. We'll see where it goes.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Middleton.
Mr. Crandall, you have two files here. File 25791ST alleges you're driving suspended second offense and no insurance. Those are both misdemeanors punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. You're very frustrated because
Yeah, I am.
you believe you need to drive. So that was May 25th. Your driver's license is suspended and you're driving around with no insurance. So you like that so much, you did it again on May 13th. You're charged with driving with no insurance and driving suspended in file 25904 and 905. Let's take a look at your driver's license. The district judge does not have authority to grant somebody driving privileges. The circuit court used to, but that's very limited. Mostly it's all done through the driver license appeal division. Your driver's license is suspended. It has been since 2023. We've got several problems. You got a ticket in Kalamazoo that you failed to pay. No insurance, even back in 23, you're driving around with no insurance. Driving suspended, 2018, Kalamazoo County. Driving suspended, 2016, Kalamazoo County. It looks like it started out by you getting some tickets and not paying them. Then you got on what I call the driving suspended merry-go-round, and it's hard to get off of it. If you don't have, yes, what do you got there?
My wife.
All right, can I?
I tried giving it to your. That's the time when she died.
This is your wife's death certificate?
Yes, it is. And I'm a widower.
She died in 2015?
Yes.
Okay.
Of liver failure and heart failure.
Okay.
And I'm gonna live alone, Middleton. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, but it doesn't give you the right to drive around, no driver's license and no insurance.
I have insurance now here if you wish to see it.
I
have it now in front of me.
Mr. Stickley.
I'm
How
sorry.
could you get insurance if you don't have a license? Mr. Stickley, I think Mr. Crandall could use some legal help here.
Probably not a bad idea, Your Honor.
Legal help. What do you mean legal help?
Well, an attorney.
I'm gonna appoint a lawyer for you.
I don't want a lawyer. I just want to.
Well, would you like to go to jail? I can
No.
arrange that. You can't drive. Your driver's license is suspended twice. You're driving with no insurance on your car in April. You drive again in May, doing the exact same thing. Driving with no driver's license and no insurance. Now, you may have some defenses you wish to raise, which is why I think you could benefit from having an attorney to help you.
The attorney's gonna help you with your defenses.
Oh, attorney, you know what attorneys cost?
You can get a public defender.
Even that's still higher than
That's
It's $150 for your attorney fee, which is much less than the actual cost.
out of jail. That's out of jail.
Where do you work, Mr. Crandall?
I work at a Wendy's.
In Three Rivers?
No, it's somewhere else.
Well, it's a long way. What other town is it in?
Kalamazoo.
Oh boy, that's a long way back and forth from Three Rivers. You could get to Wendy's in Three Rivers by riding a bike, or I can't fix it. your license is suspended. Now, one of the things you could do is pay off your ticket in Kalamazoo County. That might help your circumstance. I had a young woman you saw her a bit ago. She had 2 old drunk driving convictions, and that revoked her license 20 years ago. You don't have any of that. You've just got some unpaid tickets, and then you kept driving. And since 2016, you've been suspended. You at least might have a window to try to get your license back if you paid off your tickets and applied to the Secretary of State. So I think you could benefit from having a lawyer to help you with this. As Mr. Stickley said, it's better than the alternatives. Did he get printed?
Yes.
Okay. So what would you like to do, Mr. Crandall? You got 2 separate cases, both punishable by up to a year in jail. Further suspension of your license. Driving without insurance carries a minimum fine of $200 plus costs. So I really think you could benefit from having a lawyer to help you. You didn't drive here, but I can't fix it. You can't drive from your house to Kalamazoo to work. Not legally. And my fear is you're going to get pulled over again before we even get this resolved. You at least have a chance to try to get your license back. You need to start by paying off your Kalamazoo County unpaid ticket. That's from 2024 or 23. Then you need to go to the Secretary of State and say, what do I need to do to get my license back? You don't have any drunk driving charges.
I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and I don't smoke.
Yeah, so you got all that in your favor. Let's see who's in our waiting room. Bail. So are you willing to have me appoint a lawyer for you?
No, but I'll take it anyway.
All
I don't have
right, I
much
think-
choice. I'll take the lawyer.
All right, I'll show a plea of not guilty on all charges.
Let me ask you this.
Okay,
I don't know how to ask this. If I plead not guilty, then I get a lawyer, right?
yes,
If I say plead guilty, then what?
I still think you need a lawyer. If you plead guilty, the minimum you're gonna get is about $1,000 worth of fines. There's multiple charges. There's 2 charges of the same thing. The driving with no insurance carries a minimum fine of $200 plus $125
All
of
right,
cost.
so I'm going to have to be back here a second time, I
Yes,
assume.
yes.
And what's going to happen now? Okay, I understand where I'm at now,
Okay.
but after for a second time,
All
what's
right, well,
going to happen?
let's assume for the sake of argument that you meet with a lawyer, you pay off your Kalamazoo fine, you find out that you're eligible to get your license back. The lawyer can negotiate something with the prosecutor that could dismiss some of the charges, reduce them to civil infractions, or alternative dispositions, but you're not giving anything up. If that doesn't work, you can have 2 trials, one for each set of facts. You're not guilty of anything until you either plead guilty or you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But you are between the proverbial rock and the hard place. You don't have a license. You want a license to get back and forth to work. I can't give you a license. You've been driving around with no insurance as far back as 2018. I'm not sure how you got insurance if you don't have a valid driver's license. But it's complicated. It could be expensive and you could go to jail. So that's why I think you need a lawyer to help you with this. I'm gonna
Will
set,
he clear me of all this, or after we have this meeting again for a second time, am I gonna be able to get cleared if I get my if I can get my license?
it would certainly help. I don't know the answer to that. That'll be up to the prosecutor.
And he's out right now. Or should I talk to him today?
No, you need a lawyer to help you with this. Now, this isn't as simple as you think it is. I can't wave my magic wand and give you a license. You got a lot of hard work to do. You gotta go to Kalamazoo and find out how much your unpaid fine is. You gotta go to the Secretary of State, which is very difficult. You have to wait your turn. You don't
That
understand.
I'm aware of.
All
I mean,
right.
I'm aware of the waiting period.
Okay,
with
and
the
then
Secretary of
you
State.
say, all right, what do I need to do to get my license back? When am I eligible for it? And so this isn't gonna happen without some hard work being done. But in the meantime, you can't drive anymore. And my suspicion is you're gonna drive to work tomorrow. You're gonna get pulled over again. And then that won't be very good. But, so 2 pieces of advice. They're gonna give you this information with your lawyer's name and number on it. I want you to call that lawyer and make an appointment to discuss it with them. And I'll see you on July 11th at 8:30. In the meantime, it would be time for you to pay your Kalamazoo fine and find out from the Secretary of State what you need to do to get your
Can you put
license.
the number of the Secretary of State on that paperwork?
I don't know it. I don't know which Secretary of State office you're gonna go to. There are several in Kalamazoo. There's one on Romance Road, there's one on Drake Road. The only one here in St. Joseph County is in Sturgis. And so you can look it up online, but it depends on which one you're gonna go to. All right, you're good to go. Good afternoon, Mr. Pelfrey. This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the court. With me also is Mr. Keith Stickley, the Chief Public Defender. I've got to arraign you on these 2 cases and set a bond. First case is from last August 26th. It's alleged that on that day, August 26th of 2024, you possessed drug paraphernalia. You were set for arraignment way back in September of last year, didn't show up, and a warrant has been out for your arrest since that time. Got arrested yesterday. So in the old misdemeanor, the paraphernalia charge, I'll show a plea of not guilty. I'm going to set a pretrial for June 10th. That's not Sturgis Day, but Mr. Reader, Mr. Jordan, June 10th at 8:30. The bond in that case is $200 cash or surety. In the felony case, we'll talk about that one now. You got arrested yesterday. No, this happened in March. I don't know why they didn't arrest you on the earlier warrant then. Back in March, you got stopped by the police and they found a small amount of methamphetamine and some needles in your possession. And they apparently didn't arrest you. They sent it to the crime lab. So let's talk about that. It's alleged that on March 28th in the city of Sturgis, you did possess methamphetamine as a second or subsequent offense as a 4th habitual offender, essentially making that up to a life offense. The allegation is that you had about a half a gram of methamphetamine.
No, sir.
Hang on, sir, don't make any statements before we talk about mine. Hold tight.
And some syringes. And they sent it to the lab and that came back as positive methamphetamine. So it's not a terrible set of facts. How'd you get arrested last night?
I was riding my bike and they just see me on the bike and took me in.
All right. Are you staying behind Dunham's?
I'm staying everywhere. I was actually trying to go to rehab, but I don't know. I mean, I was wondering maybe if I get a PR bond or if I like, cause there's no way I'm gonna be able to pay any of these, things, or if I could wait here and, like, with your permission, be able to go to rehab and they can come pick me up here.
Well, that's something we can explore, Mr. Pelfrey. You've been struggling for some time here. You just see it in your countenance. If you could quit methamphetamine, but right now you're just like a walking wounded. This is your second drug charge and your fourth felony charge with habitual. I can't just snap my fingers and find a rehab. There may be one. We'll see if we can plug into services at Pivotal or somewhere. We don't have as good of a jail connection as we had when Lisa Iantelli was there, but there is somebody there whose job it is. But anyway, I'm going to show a plea of not guilty. Set pre-exam for June 10th at 8:30. Preliminary examination for June 17th, 25, 1 o'clock. And we'll appoint an attorney. I don't know why they didn't arrest you. You failed to appear on your paraphernalia charge. So there's been a warrant out for your arrest since that time, at least since, well, the warrant, it's possible the warrant wasn't out yet when the paraphernalia charge from
The paraphernalia charge is old, Your Honor. It's almost a year old.
yes, well, that warrant should have been in existence when he got stopped in March. He should have been arrested on the old warrant in March, but he was not. He was released and then they sent the stuff to the lab. I'm gonna set the bond at $5,000 cash or surety. Mr. Pelfrey, you're not doing well. You're homeless. You're charged with potentially up to life offense. This occurred in March. In my opinion, you're still using methamphetamine now in May. You're in poor health. You need a little clean time. There's a
Is
public
there any
safety.
way, is there any way you could retest that? Cause I don't think it was even methamphetamine.
We'll get to that, sir.
We'll find out. We'll get an attorney to help you with this. Anyway, no drugs, no alcohol, no assaultive behavior, no firearms. I'm not going to give you a curfew because if you get out, you haven't got anywhere to go. And you've been homeless for a year or a couple of years. We need better. By the time I see you on June 10th, I expect doing better than you are now. And at any rate, if you do post the bond, you need to call your lawyer, make an appointment. I don't think you will. In fact, I set the bond as I did because I think you need to stay in custody for a little bit to be in a position to work on your own defense. Anyway, bond is $5,000 cash or surety. No assaultive behavior, no firearms, no drugs and alcohol, which is like telling you don't breathe. But as a condition of that, you take a test upon demand. I'm not going to order testing because you can't afford it and you can't get to the day reporting center. But hopefully when I see you on June 10th, you'll be clear-headed and we can decide what to do with this. All right, Mr. Pelfrey. So I set your whole paraphernalia case for a pretrial on June 10th at 8:30 with the city of Sturgis. And then the felony case will be on the same morning. So good luck, sir. Maybe you can get some sleep here to come back. All right, you're good to go.